guys, so today's video is gonna be, I actually don't know what I'm calling this yet, a natural glam kind of makeup tutorial. It's gonna be full glam but look natural. But I just want to get straight into the video because I look ugly and I really need to put some makeup on my face. That would help me a lot right now. But if you are new to this channel, please subscribe down below. It would mean a lot to me. Let's get on into the video. Okay, so the first thing I do before I put on any of my makeup is I have to start with a good moisturizer. I just have this Neutrogena one Hydro Boost Water Gel. Hydro Boost. If you haven't got a moisturizer like this, you need one. Honestly, a life-changing product. I think it's because of the jelly water-like consistency that it has. It just hydrates the skin so well, but it doesn't look oily on the skin and it just sinks in. It doesn't give that like slip to the skin. Highly recommend. So after moisturizing, before or after my brows, it just depends on what I pick out first, honestly. And it's the Sample Beauty Infinity in One Beauty Gel I use as my primer. This makes your foundation stick all night. I absolutely love this. I thought my foundation that I have was really good on its own, and then I started using that and yeah, it really does help. I think you're still gonna have to go in with a pore filling primer if that's what you like, but honestly it makes your foundation last all day. Right, so I really want to get into brows because I can't stand looking at myself like this in the viewfinder anymore. So what I use for my brows is this Got To Be glue, and I take that on a spoolie and I just brush my brows up, really work the glue in so they literally look crazy. Then once I've got the glue all worked in, I'll just go over and before the glue dries, just shape them into the place that I want them to go. And I do use 2 spoolies for this just because the first spoolie that I started using is gunked up with glue. It's disgusting. So it doesn't even make my eyebrows look fluffy anymore. It just kind of puts glue on them. And then I take just a baby wipe and carefully, to not mess up the brows, just go around outside of the brows and take off the extra glue that's left on my skin, and then pushing back into place any eyebrow hairs that I moved. And then once I finish with that, I just go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade medium brown. And what I like to do is get a baby wipe and my brush and just flatten my brush as flat as it'll go. What I like to do is I like to do both my brows at the same time, so I'll underline one brow and then I'll underline the other one just so that I know they're going to be the same shape. And every time I go on to a new step, I'll take my brush and I'll do the same thing again with the baby wipe, and I'll flatten my brush down to get my brush as flat as possible so that it gives the skinniest line so it looks more like natural eyebrow strokes. Also, I try not to put the product straight at the front of my brow. I like to extend my brows inwards and outwards, just literally make them look longer overall. So I'll start kind of where my natural hair starts because I know I'm going to put false hair further inwards than that, if that makes sense. Really carefully adding hairline stroke to the brow to just make them look more full in any sparse areas. Right, so going onto the front of the brow, really carefully placing really fine hair-like strokes at the front of the brow just to make the brow look as natural as possible. And then my battery died. I'm not having fun. I'm not having fun. Right, so then to carve out my brows, I just use a Revolution concealer for this. This is the hydrating one. I think I'm going to go in with the normal one. And then just getting really close right underneath that brow. And then blending the tail out with a damp beauty blender. And now going in with 2 foundations, I like to mix these together. I found they work really well, and also I like to mix the shades. My favourite one in the entire world, you need this foundation. It's the Huda Beauty Faux Filter High Coverage Cream Foundation in the shade Tres Leches. What? I don't know. But it's so cheap and it's along the lines of the same formula, to be honest with you. And they do a dewy version of this, so which is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, and I get the shade Golden Beige. And then just mix them together on an eyeshadow palette. Because these foundations are so full coverage, you barely need any of them. Like, my friend bought me this for my birthday last year. I guess we have been in lockdown, so I haven't been using it as much as I usually would. I probably would have run out of it by now, but more than a year it's lasted me, and the formula is still the exact same. Now I actually have no idea what shade I'm going to be at the moment, so if this colour is off, I'm very sorry. Also, it's probably annoying people that I've not moved my hair out the way. Sorry, I'm filming another video after this, and if I tuck my hair behind my ears for more than 5 seconds, it kinks my hair and I literally cannot get the kinks out. And then I just like to switch beauty blenders for my forehead because I find it so much easier. After that is done, at the minute, obviously because it's winter, I like to take a more hydrating concealer, so I'm going to go in with the Revolution Sealant Hydrate Concealer. Dotting it in the corners of my eyes and on the outer corners of my eyes, just to give that lifting effect. And then that's all I'm going to do for a second because I've noticed that concealers dry down a lot faster with this foundation. So I'm just going to blend that in at the moment, making sure you get right up into the lash line and taking it in a straight line down the side of my nose. I'm also kind of pulling it down to where my smile lines would be. And then I also like to take that concealer and just dot it on my chin, slightly on my nose and on my forehead. After that, just going in with my Primark foundation and contour stick in the shade Caramel. So just placing this in the contours of my cheeks. I like to place my cream contour a tiny bit higher than usual so that it lifts my face. Placing it also at the bottom of my nose, underneath my lip, on my forehead, and I like to place a line on the outside of my eyes just to give that lifting effect. And then taking a foundation brush, I'm just going to blend that out. I also just remembered that I forgot to set my smile lines, so that's great for me. Just quickly doing that, I'm just taking a small brush, banana powder, and patting it into my smile lines. Now you can see how pale I look in this video. Look at my arm. That's the colour of my arm. But when I take it away, stop. And then focusing, blending out that contour on my eye, the temple. Now taking the remainder of what's on the brush and just slightly running it down my chin and neck area. Now once that is finished, I'm going to go in with cream blush. Honestly, this is so old and disgusting, so it's just a really nice pale pink colour. Any cream blush will do. Placing that where you usually place highlighter, like really high up on the cheekbones. Also taking that blush slightly at the end of my nose and on the temples of my forehead, only a really small amount. Now using that same banana powder, I'm just going to dump a bunch out on an eyeshadow palette that's in front of me and take a big fluffy brush and just set in the rest of my face. I still like to lightly tap over where I put my bronzer and blush, just so when I come to put in the powder, contour and blush over there, it doesn't stick in random patches because I've not set it down with powder. Sorry if the camera angle's changed again, I'm not having very good luck with this video. Going in with a Benefit Hoola bronzer, just in the original shade. Also again placing it above my natural contour dip in my face. This doesn't do very much for me when I'm as tanned as I am, even though I don't look it. I can be quite harsh with it and honestly it doesn't really do too much. Next, taking the Hoola Caramel, I like to grab a big fluffy bronzer brush and warm up my face. As if I nearly forgot my nose contour. I don't know what's going on with me today. My brain is not working. So nose contour, I go and take the very edge of this, dip it carefully into the Hoola bronzer and then just draw a line down my nose. This is almost the exact size of my nose, so it literally draws a line perfectly. And then taking a fluffy eyeshadow brush, just something about this size, I'm going to go in and connect the lines from my nose up to the inner corners of my eyes and just underneath my eyebrows. Again, taking my favourite tool, I'm going to dip the very corners into the Hoola bronzer, the original shade, first. And I'm going to go over where I put the bronzer in the crease of my eye, to lift my eye, and I'm going to go in straight motions. And then drag it out to my temples. Then I'm taking the corner of the brush again in the Hoola Caramel, lightly dipping into this because it is quite pigmented, and going over it again, just taking it straight out to the temple. I'm just going to take my big powder brush again and slightly work in my nose contour a bit so it doesn't look too harsh. And then with the more smaller stubborn eyeshadow brush, I'm going to just take my Hoola bronzer, just the original one, and kind of make that little line there. And also placing it underneath. Then after doing that, I'm just going to go in with blush. I use the Too Faced Papadont Peach blush. It's like a nice pinky colour and it has reflex of gold in it. And I'm just going to pat that on the high temples of my cheekbones. Go in with highlighter. I hope I've not missed anything out. I haven't done my full glam like makeup in so long. I can really barely remember, which is a good job I'm filming this because at least it rejogs my memory. Next I'm just taking, I'd show you but it's literally, it's all smashed. I've never smashed a highlighter before and it just crumbled in my makeup bag probably because I always take it to my boyfriend's house. So it's just the, is it the Laura Geller Gilded? It's Laura Geller Gilded Honey. I don't know how I remember that. I've not even read it. I'm just tapping it on quite a big fluffy brush and honestly I'm going to put it even higher than I put the blush. It's going to literally drag right straight underneath my eye. Now I'm going to take a smaller brush. This is quite like a flat angled one, into it slightly and then just run it down the bridge of my nose and on the tip. Just taking this under my eyebrows and then also on the inner corners and then on my cupid's bow. I used to highlight so much. Now I just prefer like more of a natural glow. Again, very fussy with lipstick. This is a Primark lipstick. Honestly, it's a dupe for the Kylie Malibu. So I'm just using this Colourpop lip liner. It's quite a purpley colour, not like purple. Sorry, don't mind me just getting hair off my lip. It's not like purple, but it's more on like the brown purple side. And then I overline my lip so much, making sure I obviously bring the edges into my natural lip shape. And then once I do that, I just go in with this, like a really light pink shade, but it's also got like a purple undertone to it. I hate warm tones, so... Oh, before I go on with this, I'm just going to do underneath my eyes really quickly because I forgot. I'm just going to literally go in with the tiniest bit of those Hoola bronzers I put on my eye. Also, I just use this brown pencil to line my waterline. I also use it to create two sort of lines on the inner corners of my eyes just to elongate my eyes. Also make sure the eyes look a lot more cat shaped. And then finally going in with the lipstick. I like to keep my lipstick matte for some reason. I think it's just because it's less effort. And yeah guys, that is the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed this makeup look. If you want another makeup tutorial in the future, please let me know. I'd love for you to comment down below and subscribe to my channel if you are new. I don't do enough makeup videos actually. It wasn't too bad. I usually stress over it because I absolutely hate every angle of my face. I'll get over that one day and I will fix the lighting, I promise. So like in every video, please comment down below, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next